Hey, Nelson, alcoholic addict. As usual, that's not my real name. I use a pseudonym here at LOL Sober. I have an issue in my life right now that has been very spiritually draining for a year now. And part of the reason it's been draining my spirituality is because I'm letting it drain my spirituality. I have something I couldn't let it go. I didn't let it go. I wouldn't let it go. And I think deep down, I didn't really want to let it go, if I'm being honest. And because I just kept thinking, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'm smart. I'm resourceful. I'll figure it out. If I just game plan the living crap out of this thing, I can get what I want. And that reminds me of the slogans, let go and let God, but more so, let go or get dragged. I still remember the first time I heard that. I was like, oh, that's me right there, get dragged. And listen, I got dragged for a year now before I finally let it go recently. And it reminded me of a funny story when I was a kid. I lived out in the woods, and my family, we had lots of animals, rabbits, horses, goats, sheep. And I was in charge of our goat, Nanny. It's a very creative name we came up with there, right? Nanny goat. Let's just say Nanny did not miss many meals. She was a big goat, and I was 10 years old, skinny 10-year-old kid, so we weighed about the same amount. And so when Nanny got out, it was hard to get her back in. I would approach her, and sometimes she'd just kind of like walk behind me and go in back in her pen. Other times she was like, I'm out on parole and I'm going to have a fun afternoon and good luck catching me. So she'd run away and I'd have to catch up to her and grab her by the collar. And I loved her. She was my buddy, so it was never rough or anything. But I'd get her by the collar, try to pull her, and she would just start dragging me. She'd just pull me around. That freaking goat would drag me all over the yard. And it looked like I was water skiing behind a goat. And I would hang on for dear life and just eat grass for like 10 minutes. And I remember my waistline would just be this weird dark shade of green from all the turf burns. And I would have grass stuffed down my jeans. It was ugly. And I'd hang on for a couple of minutes and eventually she'd tire out. And I'd stand up and I'd walk her back to the pen. And it came to mind because of the situation I described earlier. That's what it takes for me to get tired of hanging on to things. Like, I need to get just dragged around the neighborhood. And I wish it weren't that way, but it is. And that's what happened recently, like I said. And in this case, I had some trusted sober friends who said, you need to pray like a madman. And also make sure you keep an ear out for God to respond. It's important that you make it a conversation over a long period of time where you talk and you listen. That's the definition of a conversation. You can't just talk. You can't just make requests of a higher power. And so that's what I did. I don't have it completely resolved yet. It's actually not much has actually changed except my spiritual condition. And that's a big deal. I finally started to trust anyway, that I don't know the answer, but my higher power might. And that's cool. It's like not even that, yes, a lightning bolt came down from the sky and hit me and told me your higher power has an answer and here it comes. It's just that I know I can't manage it. I can't squeeze the life out of this situation. I need to have an open mind and open ears and turn it over. And so I did. And guess what? The past month or two, it has been really awesome. I let it go. Don't have the answer yet, but it feels like a weight off my back. And that's been a great relief. And it's just been cool that this time around, I didn't actually end up with a angry goat dragging me around my front yard. So, hey, thanks for letting me share.